War, death, and demons are just a way of life in the Warhammer 40K universe. It's a crappy place to live, but an awesome setting for a third-person action game. Developer Relic Entertainment does the franchise justice, telling a great Warhammer story that's enjoyable whether or not you're familiar with the world. The game takes the rich history and background of the Space Marines and turns it into a satisfyingly violent shooter hack-and-slash combo. If it didn't have a number of polish issues and some problematic pacing, it'd be one of my favorite action games of the year. You play as Captain Titus, a leader of a contingent of Space Marines known as the Ultramarines. Sent to a world besieged by millions of orcs, you and a scarce few of your battle brothers go in to see if you can stymie the overwhelming horde. The story isn't exactly original, but succeeds in giving your character proper motivation to go in and start dismembering foes.
Get off my ship, Space Marine!
Along the way, it develops into a genuinely interesting yarn, filled with betrayal, tragedy, and a number of other twists. In short, it's a good, fun story, whether or not you're familiar with the franchise. The only problem I have with it is how many cutscenes it uses. They look great, but also interrupt the gameplay so frequently that it makes it hard to just settle in and enjoy the ride. There are also a number of technical problems that come up from time to time. At times, the character would get stuck on part of the environment, the animations would break, and sometimes things would just randomly pop into the world.
Space Marines,
The cutscenes break up the pacing, but when Space Marine gets going, it turns into a whirlwind of violence. Your hero is a superhuman, capable of turning waves of enemies into a gory mess. To this end, you're constantly given an array of weaponry to use, enabling you to adapt your Space Marine to your playstyle. Ultimately though, it all comes down to a combination of shooting and melee combat. The enemies are varied enough that you're encouraged to use both, keeping combat from becoming a repetitive slog. You're far from invincible, but they do a fantastic job at giving you the tools and abilities you need to feel empowered. Space Marines combat shines, but there are times when they don't give you enough enemies to fight. Several giant areas in the beginning have you running through them with little to kill. Setting is important in 40K, but these parts of the game drag. Also problematic are the executions. Captain Titus can only gain health by initiating a kill animation on an enemy. They look awesome, but also make you vulnerable to attack. You're stuck in the animation with no option to cancel it, leaving you open to any enemies who decide to saunter up and finish you off. It's really annoying. The biggest surprise in Space Marine is its competitive multiplayer. It doesn't really do anything new, offering the same level progression, unlockables, and modes that we've seen in any number of other games, but it's a lot of fun nonetheless. When the campaign is over, there's plenty of reason to keep Space Marine on your shelf.
Space Marine! You're trying to steal my Titans? Steal my loot? I'll rip your guts right out your throat!
Space Marine may stumble here and there, but manages to remain entertaining from start to finish. For every technical issue that pops up, I'm left remembering great boss battles and encounters that made me feel like a badass. It may not be the best or most original action game, but it's a fine first outing for the franchise and a rare treat for Warhammer fans. For more on Space Marine, go to IGN.com.